Hey folks, welcome back to HeartGold vs. Crystal. We are here in the Team Rocket Hideout in Mahogany Town, and we need to figure out a way to shut off the radio transmitter. Unfortunately, it is sealed behind a door, which is sealed by a password, which we need to find out in a place that is sealed by 2 other passwords. Yeah, what that guy said. So basically, we need to run around this bottom floor of the hideout and fight all the trainers and see which ones know the password. Which is kind of mean design, but I mean, I've played this game for over a decade, so I know who has who has the passwords. And I mean, it's not like the trainers are hard here. I always just fight everyone anyway. Anyway, because this is an action-packed episode, you're gonna see so much action, you're gonna see so many trainer fights, you don't even know. Anyway, look at this guy, look at this, it's a coughing. Coughing is a good physical defense, so I'm using strength, surf rather than strength, because maybe it'll do a little more damage, who knows. But yeah. We've dealt with coughing. Coughing was used back in the Slowpoke well by that guy who I don't remember the name of. And now we have another one. And again, I could just bring in Bree for extra sensory every single time. But that's boring and unfair. Because Bree gets plenty of use anyway. Anyway, bait and switch business with Frida. Because I think I forgot that Frida didn't have confusion yet, so yeah, that was awkward. But Everett's managing to start holding his own here, as you can see. Headbutt is doing good things with flinching and just overall being strong. Thing about Headbutt on Everett here, it's a normal type move, so it's boosted by stab, but Everett also has the adaptability ability, which increases the power of stab moves even more, unless I misunderstand its meaning. So, it'll do a pretty decent amount of damage. And any other normal moves that I might acquire will also do a pretty decent amount of damage. Anyway, now we have a female. She is an Ekans. Look at that thing. This is actually one of the few Ekans. We see a lot more coughing than Ekans, which is blatantly unfair, misogynistic bias. Clearly. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. Ekans is the more phallic of the two. But unlike coughing, Ekans doesn't have levitate, which means ground-type moves will actually affect it, so Sandra is up in the running for this. Honestly, I don't have as much to say about Ekans as I do about coughing. I don't know what it's good for. I mean, I assume it's more offensively oriented compared to coughing. But, I mean, Weezing's the one that gets all the use in the metagame, not Arbok. And then we also have Gloom. Gloom is, it is grass poison, I believe. And again, it was interesting in the 2nd generation because it gained a new evolution that got rid of the poison type. So, naturally, none of the Team Rocket members have that evolution, they just stick with Vileplume. But for now, we just have Gloom, which, due to its grass type, isn't actually weak to ground. So, Sandra isn't actually the best option here, but God knows I'm not going to bring in Bree again. Anyway, I was hoping to get a cool demonstration of Crush Claw's capabilities, but luck was not on my side, as you can see. It's a 50% chance it should happen 1 out of 2 times. Every 2 times I use the move, one of them should work. Clearly, that's how statistics works. Anyway, Gloom is Sleep Powder. It's annoying. I didn't want to use an Awakening or Full Heal or whatever. Because, what's this thing gonna do? Use a grass-type move on me? Wait, that would be illogical. No, of course not. And there's the critical that I don't need. Excellent. Anyway, Frida, rather than learning Confusion at level 19, learned Stun Spore, which paralyzes the opponent with reasonable accuracy, although it's not Thunder Wave. And I was considering it, but I decided not to. I was a little too attached to the moves that I have right now. Even though they're not all that great to begin with, I didn't see myself using Stun Spore all that often. It might have come in handy in other situations, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, that girl was one of the 2 people who had a password. You can tell because I think she had a unique sprite. I'm actually not really sure. There aren't enough female grunts in this game that I can remember. But, I mean, she stands out. She's not a scientist. She's not a regular male grunt. So we have a little bit of a weird thing right here. This is a Ditto. Ditto are a gimmick Pokemon. They were introduced in Generation 1, and their only move is Transform, as you see there, which transforms Ditto into the opponent in all regards, except HP stat, and they only have 5 PP per move, basically. So they will copy every stat other than HP, they will copy catch rate, they will copy experience yield, and probably other things I'm forgetting. So basically, you bring in one Pokemon, and then have the Ditto transform into that, and then switch into something else that can easily defeat that Pokemon, and that's how you deal with Ditto. I kind of made a mistake here in that I forgot that, that Sandra had Shadow Claw, so that the Ditto would have Shadow Claw, which would be super effective against Frida. Kinda bad planning. Anyway, Ditto's main use in the game is not for fighting, clearly. It's for breeding, because you can put Ditto with just about any Pokemon. There are a couple exceptions, mostly legendaries. Any Pokemon in the daycare, and it will breed and create an egg of the other Pokemon. So this is often used to get more starters, for instance, or to selectively breed for a certain nature of Pokemon, which will be then used in all sorts of other scientific experiments in order to get the perfect, amazing Pokemon that you could get much easier from just cheating or using Shoddy Battle or something. But yeah, it's used for breeding, basically. Which means in first generation it was really useless. Second generation got a little more useful. Now the only other Pokemon that can learn Transform is Mew. Mew's a legendary, has better things to do. Don't use Transform on a Mew. For the kids. And, yeah, that's that scientist. Ditto's an interesting Pokemon. It's just not very good. As usual with all the interesting Pokemon, it seems. Anyway. Hey, look at that guy. He's kind of pink hair. Do they usually have pink hair? I don't really know. He's the other guy with a password. And I'm trying to figure out if he's actually visually distinctive. Because I know that he's different, but I don't know if you would know. Luckily, there are only so many trainers on this floor. There are, like, barely any. So it won't take you too long to find the proper trainers. Anyway, trying to get Webster some action here. Unfortunately, Webster's best move, which is still Nightshade, is useless against Raticate, because Raticate is a normal type and Nightshade is ghost type. So, yeah, we're stuck with Poison Sting, which had some good luck, but Sucker Punch happened, and yeah. I'm gonna work on Webster improving, but not really happening in here, unfortunately. There'll hopefully be some good opportunities coming up, maybe. We'll see. But anyway, yeah, it's Eradicate. It's a super duper Rattata. That's about it. And this guy gives us the second password. It is in fact Eradicate Tail. And since we now have both passwords, we can open up the boss's room, which is not the room, it's not the door to the power generator. We have the passwords to a different room, which I suppose could be confusing to a small child playing this game for the first time. It was probably confusing to me, honestly. Also, that computer, right there. Every single time, in every single version of this game, I go down, I check it, there's no flavor text. And I am incredibly disappointed. Because I love flavor text on computers. Anyway, look at this guy. He's a Rattata. Oh, and Bree's out. Why is Bree out? I don't want Bree to be out. Although apparently I do. Again, at any time during this dungeon, you can just run back, use the teleporter, heal your Pokemon, and be completely fresh. It's very, very quick, very simple. There's no reason not to do it if you have fainted Pokemon that you want to be not fainted. Because it's not like you need to navigate any tricky mazes or anything, or redo any puzzles. It's not like, say, my favorite dungeon ever, the Sylph Corporation, where you may get lost on your way back and then get lost coming back from the Pokemon Center as well. It's just straightforward and easy, so there's no reason not to do it unless you're like recording a video playthrough and want everything to be nice and quick and seamless. Like me. Anyway, that guy goes down like a chump. Nothing interesting about him, but there will be interesting things after this commercial break. Alrighty, let's continue. We have both passwords. We're heading towards the boss's room. It's right over there. But before we do that, there's a little item over here. Let's grab it. It's ours now. Finders keepers. I'm considering teaching that to somebody, but I'm not sold on the idea yet. We'll see what the future holds. Hey, look who it is! Now it's a thing with the question. As much as he hates us, there are a couple times in the game where he pops up and he doesn't fight us. Either because he's just so much better than us, or because he just got his ass whooped. But he pops in once in a while without actually doing anything. It's weird. I kinda like fighting him, I don't know. Like that time when Gary popped up in the middle of Sylph Corporation. I was a dick. But it was cool. Anyway, here's the boss. It's not Giovanni. Yeah, you're not fooling anybody with that haircut. Ooh, it's voice activated. How clever. Anyway, here we have yet another executive. I don't remember if we've fought this executive before. I don't remember who was in the well or anything. The executives aren't really memorable in this game. I mean, they were nobodies in the original. They were just nameless executives. Now they have names and distinct designs, but they don't like do anything notable and creative. It's kind of like the executives in the 3rd generation games. They were like, they had names, but other than the very leaders of the organizations, they didn't have any distinctive qualities about them. Diamond Pearl Platinum did it pretty well, though. I think they actually had interesting and recurring executives that you could differentiate. Anyway, Petrel? This guy doesn't have anything revolutionary. Petrel. I mean, you saw a Zubat, a Coughing, and Eradicate. Hardly the most revolutionary team you've ever seen. I think we must have fought this guy in the well, because the Zubat and the Coughing were both in the well. That or the executives are really unoriginal. I'm not sure. But, yeah, you just dealt with Eradicate. You've been dealing with Zubats and Coughings the whole time. If you don't know what to do, I don't know what you're doing. Because you have to not be doing anything to have trouble with this guy. Or be extremely underleveled, as so many people appear to think that I am. I assure them that they are completely correct, but that won't stop me. Anyway, jerk move there. Eradicate lives. gotta waste turn ceiling and all that. There's always the chance of a lucky Quick Claw activation, but I don't even remember if I have that on Klaus. I have it on Klaus at some point, but I don't remember if it's now or later or always and forever. But regardless, Klaus takes care of Raticate. Use a fighting move if you must. Use any move if you can. Anyway, at level 23, pretty rad. It's a pretty good level. Anyway, you remember this guy was talking about Giovanni. If you didn't play red, blue, yellow, green, fire red, leaf green, Giovanni was the original leader of Team Rocket, and he's one of my favorite characters. We won't be seeing much of him in this game, unfortunately. Anyway, Murkrow here is imitating the voice of Petrel, even though there's another bird Pokemon that was introduced in the 4th generation that can do the job much better. Hell, it even sounds like Petrel. The name of the Pokemon is Patrat. That must be intentional, but it's still a Murkrow because it was a Murkrow in the original games, and they can't change what's sacred. Yeah. But originally you would just talk to the Murkrow, you get the password, and then you'd run over and input the password. There was no voice activation business. I don't know. Doesn't really change much other than nothing. I don't know. Anyway, head on back to the generator. And open it goes. Bye, Murkrow. Oh, and look, it's another executive, and I hate her hair. Look at the palette of that hair, it's just... it's bad. I don't think there's enough contrast or something. I don't know. I mean, look at Lance's hair, it's so much better, and they're both red. Come on, guys. Step it up. Anyway, in the original Gold, Silver, Crystal, this was a one-on-one fight with Ariana, except she was just a random female executive. Now it's a double battle, and it's awesome. Because rarely do you get to team up with a notable and distinguished trainer, the status of whom I will not reveal at this present time. But look, he is a frickin' level 40 Dragonite. You're gonna win this fight, and it's awesome. And I'm so glad they made use of this opportunity. You have an excellent opportunity to have a double battle with a cool dude against a bunch of villains, and it was already in the story. I would be quite perturbed if they did not make use of this opportunity, but they did. Anyway, Ariana brings in some actually interesting Pokemon. She had an Arbok before, as you can see. That was evolution of Ekans. Also a Murkrow, which I wish we could get earlier in the game, but alas, we cannot. Stuck using it in Diamond. Anyway, the Dragonite likes to take care of the Pokemon directly opposite of it, so Bree kind of needs to take care of the Drowsy there. But like I said, you got a level 40 on your side, you're not gonna lose this fight. Dragonite could sweep the entire opponent team very quickly if they wanted to. Now, one thing I'm not sure of actually is if Lance has any other Pokemon with him. Because he does own other Pokemon. I don't know if he brought them with him, but why would you try to kill a Dragonite? That's just mean and inhuman. Anyway, overall, like I said, this fight's pretty easy, but it's just so cool. You got Lance on your side. You got a Dragonite on your side. Don't be hating. This is pretty rad. And yeah, remember when I said Bree was getting a lot more experience than she really needed? This is what I'm talking about, a good 3 levels above any of my other Pokemon. So yeah. Of course the Grunt doesn't get to say anything. Experiment. Mysterious. Anyway, now we need to stop the radio signal. How are we gonna do that? Well, Professor Dragonite seems to have the diagnosis. Destruction. Total and utter annihilation is the only solution. Yeah, we need to fight these Electrode, and they are wild encounters, so if you so desire, you can catch one or all of them. But that can be a little difficult because they do like to self-destruct. At least in Crystal, I'm gonna assume that they also have the capability in HeartGold, they're just programmed to do it less often. But they're actually at a reasonable level for this point in the game, especially since I came here before doing Gyms 5 and 6. Now, I'm showing one of these 3 fights because this is the only Electrode to live one of Sandra's digs. And so it was given the special honor of being stuck in a Pokeball and inserted into my PC for all time. Because it had the audacity to live one of Sandra's digs. And not only that, but to break out of one of my Pokeballs, which is a rare feat indeed. But yeah, let's use that fastball. Fastballs are good against Pokemon that are extremely fast, like high speed stat. Electrode is pretty fast. I would recommend it as a fast Pokemon. But yeah, it's fragile, it's not too strong, but it is very, very fast. It's also very dangerous, apparently. But yeah, catch or kill as many Electrode as you like, and then head on back. And after completing that mission, Lance will give you an HM. It's HM6 in the originals, HM5 here, but regardless, it is the HM for Whirlpool, which is one of the worst HMs ever, honestly. You'll see that used, like, once, maybe. Anyway, let's head out. Back to the Pokemon Center. And, up next we have the Mahogany City Gym. Oh, hello, Mother. Mom, I just defeated the criminal organization. Can you leave me alone for 5 minutes? Ugh. Anyway, that takes care of that, and I will see you guys next time.